All right, everybody, welcome back to lesson 2. Hopefully you've been practicing your stance and really trying to internalize and understand those major concepts because they're so important for boxing. Honestly, if your stance is like even a little bit flawed, it's gonna have like problems for all the rest of your techniques. So one of the best ways to get better at punching, for example, is just to get better at moving around in your stance. So you can never practice your stance too much. It's one of the first things you're gonna learn, and it's also one of the last things that you're gonna master. Today, we're gonna be working on our jab and our cross. These are some of the simplest punches, but they're also some of the most effective. Now, there's two terms that we talked about. We talked about a jab, we talk about a cross. So, for now, your jab is always gonna be your lead hand, and your cross is always gonna be your rear hand. To make this easier, we have like a very special language in boxing. Instead of using names, sometimes we use numbers to describe a punch. So I can call it like a really complicated combination without having to say all these different things, right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3. That's the language, and we're gonna be working on understanding all those different numbers through different lessons. Today we're gonna be talking about punch 1 and 2. That's your jab and your cross respectively. Now your jab's gonna be your lead side punch. This is gonna be kind of like tagging somebody with your knuckles, all right? I don't wanna be too tight when I'm in my stance. That makes everything really slow. And in a future lesson, we're gonna be talking about how we punch with a lot of power. But for today, I just want you to focus on being super loose and super fast. So my jab is gonna start at my foot. I'm gonna push off my rear foot and throw my shoulder forward and always bring it back. Every movement has two parts. I go out and I come back in. So my jab. That's punch number 1. I want you to think about when you're jabbing, imagine that somebody blew a bunch of bubbles and you had to catch as many as you could. Normally, like if I was to do that, I wouldn't be really stiff and strong trying to catch all those bubbles. I would just stay super loose and relaxed because I want to be efficient. I want to get a lot of work done without using a lot of energy. Now punch number 2, this is a serious punch. This is your right hand. This is your rear hand, excuse me. This is your cross. This is a punch that means business, okay? So we're going to introduce a concept today, and we're going to talk more about it in a future lesson. The concept is called torque or torsion. Now what that means is just a way of generating energy by spinning. So if you've ever swung a golf club or a tennis racket or a baseball bat, you're generating torque. So we want to think about rotating as we punch. Now in order for something to rotate, one end has to move in one direction and the other end has to move in another. Think about a seesaw. One end goes up and the other end goes down. So my shoulders and my hips are going to act complementary like that seesaw. So when my rear side goes forward, my lead side goes backwards, exactly, okay? So check this out. All your punches are gonna start from the ground. That's what makes boxing such an interesting martial art, because it's kind of like you're hitting stuff with the power of the planet beneath your feet, okay? So watch this. I'm staying on the ball of my foot. I'm gonna drive, crank my knee, hip and shoulder, boom, and return. One more time. And return. One more. Notice when I finish my punch, where's my shoulder? It's still above my chin. That's super important. So I don't want to do this. I keep my chin down. Punch number 2. Now let's throw a combination. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That's jab, cross, jab, jab, cross. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Notice the twist on both punch numbers 2. With the jab, we kind of reach out with that jab. We don't have to twist too much, but on punch number 2, super serious punch, we want to make sure we really twist on that one. Okay, one more time. Combo of the day. Jab, cross, jab, jab, cross. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Now here's a little black belt tip. After every combination in boxing, we want to move. We don't want to be where we were. So I'm going to throw my combination and then change my angle. Think about that concept, angles. We've talked about that in jiu-jitsu, right? The better the angle I can create, the stronger I'm going to be, and the weaker the other person's going to be. So anytime we can create an angle, we're going to be ahead. Okay? Combo of the day. Jab, cross, jab, jab, cross. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Make sure you practice that. Follow along, finish the rest of the class, and we'll see you next time.